Hi everyone, it's Lisa here for Honeybee Stamps. In today's video, I'm sharing how I use the Busy Bee stamps and honeycut dies along with the Back to Basics 6x6 paper pad to create two quick and simple hello cards. So here's a quick look at the Busy Bee stamps and Back to Basics paper pad. And I went ahead and I stamped 3 of each of the flowers from the Busy Bee stamp set onto 80-pound smooth cardstock using Memento Tuxedo black ink. And I'm doing some simple coloring with these images. I'm just laying down a little bit of Y17 on each petal, and then I'm going to follow that with Y15. I'm just flicking a little color out towards the tip of the petals, and then I'm going to come in with Y13 and blend all of this out. Now I'm going to go ahead and run these through my Sidekick with the coordinating honeycut dies. Now, I love this Back to Basics paper pad. I think it's probably my favorite 6x6 paper right now. And I decided to go with the hexagon pattern. I'm going to use my paper trimmer and cut this at a 45-degree angle right down the center. And once I have the angle cut, I'm going to trim each piece to 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. We have a white cardstock panels here that are 80 pounds. I've got those cut also to 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to run those through my big die cutting machine with all these little buzz lines that are included in the coordinated honeycut die set from the Busy Bee stamps. So I just did that to emboss this pattern right onto that white cardstock. Now, I decided to go ahead and color the center of each of the flowers black. I'm using Copic 100, and I'm just going to use a white gel pen to add a few small details to each center. Now, while I was doing all of this coloring, I decided I wanted to go ahead and stamp 2 bees and then stamp my sentiment buzzing by to say from the Beautiful stamp set onto white cardstock. Then I went in and I colored the bees. I did every other stripe on the bee with Y15 and Y17, and then I did the rest of the stripes with that black 100. Now I colored their cute little faces with N2 and then a little bit of BG10 to the wings. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim that down and run these through my Sidekick. Also, I went ahead and I trimmed both of those sentiments down with my paper trimmer. So here I've already gone ahead and added mounting foam to the back of the pattern paper, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to those white panels that we ran through the big die cut machine and embossed that pattern on. Then we're just going to use some tape from a tape runner on the back of that and go ahead and adhere these to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. I've trimmed 2 strips of black cardstock to 1/8 of an inch thick using my paper trimmer, and I'm going to add these to the very edge of this pattern paper on that angle using my on point glue. Now, once that adhesive dries, I'm going to go ahead and trim the ends of those strips off. And then we're going to come in and add our colored flowers. So I'm just alternating these because I had 3 of each. So each card will have a different pattern on it. Now I used my on point glue and those small round foam adhesives to go ahead and add my flowers to the very edge there. And I went ahead and I had taken that sentiment strip. I'm going to snip the tail of it off, add some adhesive to it, add it to that black cardstock that I've cut to 1/2 inch wide and snip the tail of that off and go ahead and adhere our sentiment to the bottom left of the card. A few of these little round foam adhesives to add our bee to the top, and our card is just about done. So I decided for a little touch to come in with the smallest heart from the Busy Bee stamp set and stamp some of those hearts inside each of the hexagons. I'm not each of them, I'm just doing kind of a random pattern with it. And I'm using my Memento Dandelion ink for this. So now to finish off each of these cards, I'm going to come in with some Aurora Lights confetti sequins and add to each card. Now in the pictures you noticed I did matching envelopes, and all I did was stamp the tiny little bee from the Busy Bee stamp set along with one of the buzz lines, and then I used that adorable sentiment, the paper hug sentiment from the Angel Policy stamp set, which I love that stamp set, to stamp the very bottom left corner of an envelope. And you can see that in the photos. I did go ahead and color the little bee yellow on the front of my envelopes also. But that's going to wrap us up for this video. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you'll click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of new content to the channel. For more information about the products used, head over to the Honeybee Stamps website, and I hope you have an amazing day.